Why do they call it March Madness when it's a game of basketball? We'll take a look. Danny, everybody in the States and everybody in the world is following college basketball, in particular March Madness. What is it? Why are we so excited?
March Madness is that period in the United States where the collegiate teams which have won their divisions or been invited to the tournament, 64 teams in the men's draw, 64 in the women's draw. It's the collegiate championship, the end of the season. Even President Obama on television presented who he thought would win each match and the tournament.
Nobody has ever picked the draw. So a year ago or 2 years ago, Warren Buffett offered his own money, $1 billion, for anybody who would have a complete bracket that was correct. And nobody's ever done it.
No one's ever done it. And what's interesting is these are college students. They're supposed to be taking exams and writing papers. And the amount of money that the colleges make, the student athletes are preparing to show themselves for the pro teams. But the fans love it. The ratings are enormous. And it is March Madness in the United States and around the world.
But economically, it's slave wages, isn't it, if you're one of the players? I mean, the networks make billions. The universities make billions, the players make lunch money.
Well, that's one of the arguments. The students at Northwestern University outside of Chicago, they tried to form a union so that they would get paid, but it didn't work. A lot of the players in basketball is what we call one and out. They'll play their freshman year because they can't be drafted in the pros, and immediately they'll go to the pros to make money.
Yeah, but how many of the 64 teams, which say 12 on a team in college basketball, only a handful will ever play in professional basketball?
Perhaps in the United States, they'll play in Europe and other places. What's interesting is that some people publish the graduation rate of the teams, and some of the teams have problems graduating people, not in the 4 years normally, but some of the players go back to graduate after. But even Duke, which is an outstanding academic university, a lot of the players are now finishing after their freshman year and going into the pros.
Right. I mean, the graduation rate at Duke, at Kentucky, at Virginia, I'm sure it's below 20%. But I think 20% is probably on the high side. Why is the tournament so exciting? The games are every day, every weekend?
No, it's not every day. They have games during the week and then on the weekends. What's so exciting is that it's collegiate. And there are games decided by buzzer beaters at the last moment. You have some very small teams like Middle Tennessee State, which all of a sudden upsets a big team. And there's just this enormous enthusiasm on campuses. And it's college. They're not pros officially. So there's that kind of teenage and young adolescent excitement.
Moving on to the pro game, the Warriors, are they going to make their 73? Their record-setting 73-9.
They had a bad game. They lost a bad game. A team tried to figure out how to stop them. Steph Curry had a bad match. He had 14 points. But they are on the way to making the 73 and 9 to beat the record. The question is, though, okay, they can beat the record. Will they win the championship?
I say no. I say the Spurs. I say the Thunder. I say whomever, not the Cavaliers, are going to be. They're not. Their whole season is based on beating the Bulls record. And I think come May, even come June, I can't remember when the finals in the NBA take place, that so much of the energy of the Warriors will have been in beating the Bulls record. What is it? 73-9 is the all-time.
No, the record is 72-10.
Right? If they have 73 wins, they win the record. What about LeBron? Isn't LeBron the world's greatest basketball player? Yet he's not doing it with his Cavs, is he?
Well, basketball is a team sport, Matthew. You know that. Five guys on the floor.
You might want to tell LeBron that because he thinks it's a LeBron sport.
Well, he's not that individualistic. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain was worse. And there are other players who are what we call black holes. As soon as they get the ball, it doesn't go out. LeBron has already won the championship. He's won the MVP. He's done an enormous amount for his team. He's done enormous for Cleveland.
He's brought Cleveland back to the finals, but he's never going to beat the Spurs. He's never going to beat the Warriors.
It's not his fault, Matthew. There are four other guys on the floor.
Have you heard of Kevin Love? You heard of Kyrie Irving? These are all-star players that, for whatever reason, LeBron can't play with.
Well, you can argue about the coach. They've already fired their coach. He's not a great team player. If you look at Stephen Curry and certain other players, they can score, but they also pass. LeBron's not a great person to help his other teammates in difficult situations.
Bring back Clyde Frazier. That's what I say. That's all the time we have this week on Money in Sports. I'm Matthew Stevenson.
I'm Danny Warner.